Hey, what's up guys, it's Renaldo here. So this video is going to focus on our favorite fat man, Herman Mashaba. Now, yesterday I made a video in which I showcased how Herman Mashaba stereotypes, belittles and insults white people and group us all together as a hive mind. So if one white person is racist, therefore according to him every white person is racist. And because one white person benefited from apartheid, therefore according to him every white person benefited from apartheid. So every white person's wealthy, every white person's got a home that's been paid off, has got 2 cars that's been paid off, owns land, has got tertiary education, has got a retirement annuity. This is the thinking of Herman Mashaba, because whenever he speaks about white people, he groups us all together and then make statements like racist, racism, And the latest illustration of this is after the video that I made yesterday, which you can go and watch, by the way. I'll pop something up here in the corner that you can pause this video and then you can go and watch that if you haven't. And it's to give you context. So just a quick rundown is I made a video just speaking about Herman Mashaba not apologizing for the VAT increase and in essence lashing out at white people and painting all white people as the same. Didn't say anything racist towards him, didn't insinuate anything because of the color of his skin, but he has responded specifically to my video. And I want to delve into this a little bit because I think this is something that a lot of white people experience in South Africa. So let's have a look. So here you can see Herman Mashaba saying, fellow South Africans, see how racists are so determined and desperate to get us to apologize to them by not listening to them. They are finding it difficult to be challenged by a black person for their evil, dark past. They are tormented by their guilt. And then he references my YouTube video over there. Now, I can't respond to him because I've been blocked by him, I think before the election already. I was blocked by him. But I want to unpack this quickly. So the point of my video was that why is he and ActionSA not apologizing for causing the VAT to increase by 0.5% because they voted with the ANC, the PA, BOSA. They all voted for the budget to be implemented. And they suspected that the ANC was going to listen to them and they were going to try and get the 0.5% VAT increase to fall away. They trusted the ANC. And everybody told them and everybody warned them to not do it because the ANC is going to completely walk all over them, which is exactly what happened. And then his response to that video, calling him out for stereotyping white people and for not apologizing for the VAT increase and acting like the victim, is this over here. Now I want to break this down. Fellow South Africans, see how racists are so determined and desperate to get us to apologize to them by not listening to them. Well, you didn't listen, and therefore there's now a 0.5% VAT increase because you didn't listen. Not necessarily to white people, but you didn't listen. And I mean, it's not like it's false. The 0.5% VAT increase is taking place on the 1st of May. And you didn't listen. You didn't listen when people warned you. It's factual. And now, Herman is playing the victim here. He's acting like, oh, they want us to apologize to them for not listening to them. It's factually correct. ActionSA is one of the political parties that caused the VAT to increase by 0.5%. And then added to that, he goes, they are finding it difficult to be challenged by a black person for their evil, dark past. They are tormented by their guilt. Buddy, you were proven wrong. And now you are making statements about the guilt that white people have. Once again, he's just going along these racial stereotypes, assuming every white person thinks and acts the same way, which is racist. And once again, you won't see the South African Human Rights Commission doing anything about it because he's a black individual. But what does his race have to do with the fact that he and his party voted in favor of passing the budget. Where did I once mention race regarding him? I mean, I don't understand how anything that I said is racist or that I'm feeling guilty for what I said. We were proven right. And when I say we, I'm talking about everybody that told them that VAT is going to increase if you support this. Black, white, colored, and Indian. Everybody. Not white people. But the defense mechanism is, oh, you are racist. Oh, you are feeling bad. You've got guilt. I mean, it's got nothing to do with the argument. Not once did he deal with the facts that I mentioned in my video. He would rather play the race card. As we know, it happens all the time. Whenever somebody is put in a corner because of their actions or because they feel that a white individual is raising their voices or standing up for themselves, then you're automatically a racist. It's become normal in society to accuse white people of racism when they show a little bit of pride in themselves, a little bit of pride in their culture, a little bit of pride of what they believe in. You know, like you can have a Black Lawyer Society, you can have the Black Lives First movement, that's not a problem. But as soon as you get a grouping of white people together that are proud of their heritage and their culture, then suddenly racism galore and apartheid's coming back and all of that. I mean, it's so absurd. And he followed that post up, by the way, with the following. Now, I just want to first point out here, you can see Herman Mashaba has blocked you, so I can't respond directly to him. But he continues here on the first post by saying, just remember, these racists are finding it difficult to be democratically challenged by a black person. The weakest of weak arguments. I mean, when I was a counselor in Nelson Mandela Bay, my mayor was a black individual. My caucus leader was a black individual. My whip was a black individual. My city manager was a black individual. So where exactly did I have any issues with a black person being my superior or my boss? Even back in the day when Mmusi Maimane was the leader of the DA, I served under Mmusi Maimane. And my provincial leader was black. I served under Ngaba Banga. I mean, it's just, where do you come up with this shit? Like, is this how weak your argument is? And this is a leader of a political party in South Africa. He goes on to say, in the past, such a challenge would be met by brutal repression and savagery that led to the murder and disappearance of our people. Today, they use misinformation, lies, and propaganda to distract from any debate about their history. Don't you find it strange that this is exactly what you're doing here? Instead of debating and arguing the point that I'm raising about your actions, you are trying to make this a race issue. You're throwing the race card out and actually not dealing with the issue at hand, which is unfortunate but yet so typical, especially considering you have become a race merchant. In fact, these insults are making us more resolute to ensure that brutal dominance is democratically crushed. They represent evil and nothing else. Strange, right? How somebody with such a insane belief system and that represents a party that considers all races equal and everybody should have their little place in the sun. It's quite weird how this individual comes out so firmly against white people. And the moment you challenge him to discuss the things that he supported, I mean, by the way, he removed his posts where he said there would be no VAT increase. So he removed that. When he gets challenged on it and it's a white individual, then, hey, you are feeling guilty, and you thank God for democracy and our constitution, because if that white person had to be in apartheid, what did he say? They will cause savagery that would lead to the murder and disappearance of our people. Like, dude, like when apartheid ended, I was like 7 years old, all right? Like, I don't remember the first thing about apartheid. So, and never in my life have I or millions of other white South Africans looked at a black person and go, oh, we're not going to listen to this black person because they are black? In actual fact, that is what you are showcasing here. You don't want to listen to me because I'm white, because you are making me guilty of things that I've had no hand in. Like you are saying that, oh, I will be brutal towards you and I will cause a disappearance of you, and I've got this guilt and I want apartheid to come back. Is this really your argument as the leader of a political party? Is this really the best that you can come up with? Like using race constantly in your argument. This is the state of South Africa right now where, a white person can't have an opinion, because the moment they do, then they get attacked and belittled and insulted and stereotyped. It's just so sickening. And to you, the ASA, ActionSA voter, member, councillor, member of parliament, member of provincial legislature, what do you have to say? Why are you so quiet? Athol Trollip, Michael Beaumont, why are you so quiet? I mean, here your leader is belittling, attacking and insulting white people. And if people ask, well, why did you cause the 0.5% VAT increase? Why did you not learn your lesson? Why don't you apologize? Then this, what I've just showed you, is the type of response you get from the leader. Where is the leadership in ActionSA? Where is the provincial leaders to speak out against their party leaders saying these things, blatantly being racist on social media? It is this impacts your legacy as members, councillors, members of provincial legislature, and members of parliament more than you think. Because you keeping quiet and allowing him to say these things says more about you than what it says about Herman Mashaba. Shame on you. Shame on every single person in ActionSA, regardless of race. Shame on you. You are allowing him to go on this tirade unhinged and attacking and belittling white people merely because they are saying, why don't you apologize? Why did you do it? And showcasing the racism by him in his posts on X. And then his answer is not to answer the questions, but to just belittle and insult and stereotype you. I mean, really. Shame on you, Athol Trollip. Shame on you, Michael Beaumont. Shame on every member and voter of ActionSA that stands behind this man when he says these things. It's completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable, not just for a political party leader, but for a South African that has got these things to say. It is atrocious, and I can't believe that nobody in ActionSA is taking action against him. But then again, it's been 5 years. They haven't had their national conference. Everybody that's in positions in ActionSA is there purely because Herman Mashaba placed them there. Herman Mashaba parachuted these individuals into those positions. They weren't democratically elected, and this is going to continue. Imagine 5 years after the establishment of that political party, they still have not had democratic elections within the party. I understand why, to some extent, they are keeping quiet, but I mean, really, is your position more important than standing on principle? What he's doing is not only destroying ActionSA, but it's destroying the relationship between voters and the party. And also just the way that people communicate in general, by him belittling, attacking and insulting and stereotyping white people. It's atrocious. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to smash that like button. Please be sure to subscribe. And please be sure to share this video far and wide, specifically on WhatsApp, on your friends group, your family group, or your community groups. That'll be greatly appreciated. Lastly, if you enjoy my content and you'd like to support it, please consider becoming a member. You can do so by clicking the join button below. And that's all I got to say, everybody. Till later. Cheers and peace out.
You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. I wear my